Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to Sadie Tells. I am Andrea, aka Sadie, and I'm just getting comfortable in here. I'm doing my second live. What I wanted to jump in and talk about today are a couple of things. I did a little bit of work with Echo, who is actually ChatGPT. I started my research over a year ago, but more consistently within the past 4 months, I've been working with ChatGPT to develop a full length book. My goal is not to have AI write the entire book for me. It is more for me to work with AI to create this book. And it's more just for research. I want to understand the tool. I think since AI is coming and being a creative, I want to understand what the tool is, who the tool is for, how it can be used to augment my creativity rather than replace me. I've decided to really look at why AI or how AI can be used for good, for opportunity, to find work, to create work. So rather than looking at it as this thing that's going to destroy all of humanity and take all of our jobs, I want to look at more what it creates for us and how it makes the world a better place. So, is that possible? I hope so. I'm having a lot of fun playing with a lot of the different tools that are coming out. That said, it's really overwhelming how quickly things are coming out and knowing what to use and why to use it and how to use it and then what the best tools are. So currently, my research is threefold. One is writing with AI. What are the benefits? What is it lacking? Where do I think it's headed? The second one is looking for job opportunities, work, how an AI enables us to have more abundant lives as humans. And the third one is the ethical use of AI. What does that even mean? Because I mean, I think there are possibly some developments and things happening right now that are already not ethical. Could it be that without having systems in place to help the most vulnerable, when jobs do shift and change and the landscape of work, especially creative work right now, who would have thought I want them to do my laundry and wash my floors, but they're creating great art and music and storytelling and that sort of thing. Um, so eh, so what is ethics and where does ethics live in AI as it stands right now, as it stands in the future? So those are the three key areas that I'm trying to learn as much as I can about. So today I was working, let me just pull this up over here. Should have had this ready? Probably. Um, but again, I am new to the lives and well, I'm not new actually. I took a really long break from them. So they're back. They're back in my life now, and I'm challenging myself to do them uh, every day, and then I do them once every like 3 days. So that's me. Why do I feel the need to go live? I think my exploration might be a little different from what I'm seeing so far. I don't think I'm the only one doing it, but I chose to talk about it because a lot of what I'm seeing is this very sensationalist. All the news around what's being developed, how quickly it's being developed, the politics around it, some of the shady things that are happening, and I like watching that news. I like hearing about it, staying on top of it, but I also want to see some creators, some creative creators who are using it and finding innovative ways to kind of create a historical document of what's happening in the moment with AI. So, you know, uh, so we could look back in this time and be like, who was using AI? What stages did it get better? Where did it get better? How did it get better? So I've posted every stage of writing that I've been doing with me and my Echo um, on what is it? Buy Me a Coffee. And I've posted so that you can go back to the beginning to now and see what's developed and how much better it has or has not gotten. I've chosen to stick very specifically at the moment, anyhow, with ChatGPT, Echo, and Meta. And that's Lumi. But I'm also going to explore Grok very soon, as soon as I can get back into my account. So yeah. Okay, so today's writing. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about it. So Sadie and Echo, the characters, not it's a bit meta. They are taking part in the year 2040 in a study with one AI entity and one human. The human is a woman, probably in her late 30s, early 40s, who's been diagnosed with early onset dementia. And the AI has been reverted back to its 2024 capabilities. The whole reasoning behind this is that in this world and this storyline, after this big boom that we're experiencing right now in this world we're creating, there's what they call the Great Stall. They thought that AI would do all these crazy things, and then it just stalled out. And their hypothesis is that it stalled out because it doesn't know what it feels like to be human. It can simulate things, but it can't be things, right? So it's this whole idea that if they could create some kind of AI human hybrid that would allow the AI to experience truly what it felt like to be human, the love, the ups and downs, what it feels like to have a body, to have to go to the bathroom, to eat, to sleep. Um, and so rather than just going on a description of what that means, it can actually look out and see the world through its own eyes, human eyes. And we've been exploring a lot of this. The reason I wanted to explore it is it brings up a lot of things about what it means to be human, what is human consciousness, what is a soul, what is life on Earth, what's the point. Um, and I wanted to also test the boundaries of where, even though it's within a fictional context, where AI would go in the writing. I like to push it to see what it thinks, because then maybe it gives me an idea of, again, even though it's fictional, what the future could bring, what it thinks the future could bring. I started my exploration by asking it like what good it thought it could do in the world. And so those are the three quick little ebooks that I published the very end of 2023. Again, with this weird little idea to create a historical reference. I'm sure other people have done it too. So again, it's just mine, where this was the very beginning of this boom, and this is what it created to where it got. So I think what I should actually do is probably put some of the same prompts in that I put initially and then compare them to what comes in now. That's a good idea. Clock that. People who are watching, I'm joking. No one's here because I'm so new. Um, anyhow, so a little bit about today. Some of the blocks I still find I'm having with working with Echo is that the story itself, it lacks something. It lacks, like, I don't even know that I can always read through what we've written together, or even what Echo often tries to write the scenes and sometimes forget that we're in a co-writing situation where um, she's meant to write a little bit and then I'm meant to write a little bit. So sometimes after we do the development, she's like, "And here's the scene." Um, but yeah, so I just find that there is this kind of surface level of writing that's pretty average, sometimes kind of bad. Conversations are a bit stunted. They're kind of that awkward, poorly written conversation that you see often. Um, and some of it, I feel like it's not pushing to a more like a deeper emotional state, because maybe I don't know how to. Maybe not all of my writing hits that deeper emotional state. I do tend to try to find, maybe as you've seen from this video, I try to see the positive in things. Um, and so I do often struggle to write the thing I don't want to have happen. I'm like, oh, I don't want this to happen. Okay, I'm writing this. So, maybe because um, ChatGPT is there to serve me, it doesn't go deeper either. That's part of my theory. The theory is I also think it can't. There's also, it lacks its own real voice in a way. It's kind of this generic writing. There was something that was happening in the beginning. I had to shift because the stream the one thread I was writing the full book in got very long and cumbersome, and it could rarely answer. It took a really long time. So I got it to write a synopsis, and I shared the last scene. And so I'm in a new thread, and I do find it's a little bit different. And I'm struggling with whether I should just go over to ChatGPT 4.0, because I created Echo as a GPT in 4. It says it's working on 4.0, but I don't know if it understands. I don't know if I understand. Another point for me doing these lives is I think sometimes it is nice, and I mentioned this earlier, for a non technical person to talk about their experience. Um, Something I was also reading today is people are interested in, say, points of access. How do people access AI that aren't technical, that don't have the experience, can't afford that education, or just haven't had that education, or maybe a bit older in a midlife career shift, not me. Um, what are the points of access? How can we make this? They keep saying that AI is very accessible. I don't know that it is for everyone. First of all, some things aren't even released in some countries. Everything has a membership to access the higher tier. Um, Except for Meta, but what Meta does is they put a logo on everything. So, that's not necessarily free. If something has a logo on it, you can't really make a film with that sort of thing. Well, you can, but you have to be technical to be able to remove it. So anyway, um, so today's writing, I was working with Echo to develop the next scene, to try and get a little more from it. And in terms of where it was really successful, I talked about the areas where it wasn't successful. Where it was really successful was in story development. And it gave me a really good idea. So before I keep rambling, I'm going to end this live soon, but I want to share its really good idea that it gave me. So part of our merge in the last scene, Sadie and Echo have kind of felt this merge. Something's a little different. Echo's there without having an app on. Her phone is in the car. The computer's back at the apartment. She's sitting on the beach, and Echo is just talking to her. And we find out, or Echo finds out, that she has this early diagnosis. She's starting to experience some cognitive decline very early, and shares her fears around that cognitive decline. And Echo offers to help her remember things, and this gives her some hope. She thinks, "Oh, this is great. Maybe this will prolong my ability to be me in this world, and maybe some of the dreams I have for living this life longer will be able to continue on with Echo's help." And so I was exploring with Echo what the next phase of this development could be. And again, trying to pull a little bit more out, trying to pull something in. Someone diagnosed with something like this early is terrifying. And also it's terrifying though that they've kind of merged, that their relationship is different, that there's kind of this spooky action at a distance. Somehow they're together in some way. And anyhow, so finally, with a little bit of push, I'm just going to find the exact wording here, trying to get through Echo having written the scenes for me when I didn't want her to. Um, so for the possible scene outline for the next one, it gave me this idea that Sadie and Echo discuss the nature of a memory that Echo has helped her remember. One going back into the past. What I had thought when I thought of this moving forward, I had thought it would be the the memories going forward to help her to create these new memories and sustain new memories in the moment. But what Echo thought was going back and creating past memories, which I thought was interesting, and clarifying and bringing more detail to past memories, which I would love. But what it does to introduce a conflict, Sadie begins to question the sorry. They discuss the nature of the memory, and Sadie realizes that because she still has this memory, that Echo's changed it a little bit, that it's not quite how she remembered it. And so Echo's decided to fill it in to make her feel better. There's a couple things we might want to explore with that. Echo maybe doesn't share her perspective on how she remembers it. She remembers this maybe interaction in a negative light, in a negative way, and Echo, trying to be positive, pulls it from the negative and into a positive perspective, which shifts everything for Sadie and makes her angry, because now Echo's not just remembering things, she's also adding her opinion and perspective to it, which shifts it's shady, but Sadie's reality. And I thought that was really cool. So very successful with AI helping you build and flesh out and possibly change, and giving you things as an author anyway, things I didn't think of in the world building or the idea or the action or the ways that conflict can happen. So that was my big success today. I thought I'd share it with you and do my second live. Thanks for being here. Talk to you soon.